Hi everybody, Paul here of Advanced Ideas, where our goal is to make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Today we're doing a presentation on REBT. What is REBT? It's Rational Emotive Behavioral Therapy. So today we're going to be talking about REBT, what I call the miracle of REBT. Because what's a miracle? A miracle is when something happens that's so amazing you thought it would never happen in your life. Well, that's what's going to happen today. Because 99.99% of people will never be exposed to REBT, the Rational Emotive Behavioral Therapy, and their lives will be less livable because of it. But not you. You're my special guest today, and you're going to make it happen, and you're going to have the tools, strategies, techniques to make a life second to none. So what is REBT? Let's take a look on the board. Go over to my magic board here. I think I'll do this in a festive blue today. REBT. Rational, emotive, behavioral therapy. REBT. So let me break it down to you, for you. Rational. Rational means sane. If you don't understand the nature of reality, you're what? You're insane. Now, don't feel bad. Most of us don't understand the nature of reality. We don't understand how it truly is. And once you start using these techniques, you realize you fall in that group, and so do I. So, rational means sane. Here's what else it means. It means anytime you crap on yourself, you're negative to yourself, you use the negative self-talk that we talked about in previous videos and trainings. Anytime you are bad to you, you've lost your damn mind. You're insane. You're not rational. Because I can explain rationally why you would be good to yourself, but I can't explain rationally why you'd be bad to yourself. So rational means being good to yourself, not crapping on yourself. That's rational. Emotive, big fancy psychology term. I'm not quite sure why they use this. I wouldn't have gone this route. Emotive means to emote. It's a simple word, means emotional. So a rational way, a logical, scientific way to change your emotions and therefore change your behaviors. And what's therapy? I love therapy. I'm a therapist. I do it. It's a system of getting better. And as Wayne Dyer says, you don't have to be sick to get better. I used to use that as a motto for my counseling. Okay, so that's what Rational Emotive Behavioral Therapy is. Now we're going to jump right in and we're going to see exactly how it works. I'm going to give you some nice examples here so that you'll have some specific real-life examples of how to use this so that you can simply plug in your problem, your issue, the thing you want to get past, the thing you want to enhance, the thing you want to eliminate. Have that ability and just plug it in and make it happen effortlessly. So, why do people get stuck in their emotions? And why did I say I thought they understood the nature of reality, but they really don't? Myself included. It's because we're missing a piece, and I'm going to show you the missing piece. So, here's what it looks like. Here's how it appears that reality happens. So, when you have a disturbing event, here's what happens. Say somebody yells at you. Therefore, you get mad, and then you give them a bop in the nose. Right? Typical scenario. You have some kind of anger reaction. So, here's what happens. There's an event. Actually, I'm going to do this one in red for you so it'll kind of stand out a little bit. Okay, so we have an event. Did somebody yell at you? Absolutely, that happened. You're not crazy yet. Based on that, we have a certain feeling. And then based on that, we take a certain action. Now, this is exactly, I mean, check your own experience. This is exactly what it seems like is happening. And the reason we can't break out, we can't change our own emotions just like that, is because we're missing a hidden piece. Here's the hidden piece. Okay, somebody yells at you. That's true, that happened. Now, then what happens is you have a certain thought about it, and you have certain self-statements that you make. We'll call them self-talk. This is the way you describe what happened to yourself. Sometimes known as your explanatory style, how you explain this to yourself, the meaning that you give it. That's self-talk. And then you also have certain rules, and I'll go over what that is. Then, based on this happening, then you have a certain feeling, like you get mad. And then you take a certain action and you bop them in the nose. So let's look at the magic of this missing piece. Every feeling is based on the thought that precedes it. If somebody yells at you and your thought is, wow, are they mad at that guy behind me? You're not going to get upset because the thought says this has nothing to do with me, and you're not wrong, okay? But if you say, even if somebody wasn't yelling at you and you say, hey, you talking to me, and you get upset because of that thought, you'll get mad, you might bop the guy in the nose. This is exactly how it works. It's not the event that happens, but the meaning that you give it. The meaning. What you tell yourself about that event. That is the golden ticket. That is what makes you happy, mad, sad, angry, nervous, worried, scared. And then you take the appropriate action, whatever that may be in your mind when you feel this certain way. So, here's what happens. Say you're a young kid and you're having a good time, you're bebopping around your little diaper there and you're going across the couch, and all of a sudden you get to the end of the couch and you fall over. Bam! All of a sudden you look up at your mom or dad and you're kind of trying to figure out, because this is the first time this has happened. You didn't really hurt yourself. You got that big bump around there called a diaper. But you're trying to figure out, how should I feel about this? And you look for clues. Now, if your mom or dad are laughing, oh, that's so funny, you know, you bucket her, she fell down, you know, haha, this is good slapstick. Then you'll think when you fall on your butt, that's funny, that's big humor. You'll probably start doing it like Steve Carey. Okay? But if you look at your parents and all of a sudden, oh, they're shocked and they're so nervous and oh my God, my baby, and they freak out, you're going to say, well, falling off the couch or falling down isn't slapstick. No, no, no. It means freak out. Okay? Because these are your mentors. These are your teachers. They're teaching you to do this. Now what happens is this will get locked in your psychology. You will have these instant reactions and they become like a reflex. You no longer think about them once they're locked in. It's called the imprint period or childhood programming. Now, what happens is, this is how it seems like reality goes. It's the event, then the feeling, then the action. But I told you, in reality, this is how it really goes. But this happens because it's reflexive. It happens in a millisecond. So fast, the human brain, the human eye can't detect it. Now, if I go like this, and this happened in a split second, so quick you couldn't see it, doesn't this look a lot like this? And this is why you can't change it. It's literally hidden. You don't remember ever setting these things up. Now, when we were talking about the child falling off the couch, pretty soon they develop a rule. A rule is when this happens, you feel like this. Just like some people will say, well, you know, if somebody says something mean to you, you turn the other cheek and you just let it go. If they practice that over and over and over again, that becomes kind of one of their rules of doing things. It'll become reflexive. So the minute somebody says something nasty to them and say, boy, that guy must have had a bad day, and they just keep moving on. Now, if your rule is, and you've ingrained this, you're now programmed, it happens instantly, that, hey, you don't ever talk to me like that, you don't disrespect me, man, I will give you a bop in the nose. That's what you're going to do. That's why people who have anger management problems, they go into court and say, I don't know what happened, you know, Judge, it just happened in a second. The guy said something to me and I just blew up. I didn't know what happened. I'm going to plead temporary insanity. Kind of true, kind of not true. From the perspective that we're looking at, yes, it's true. So the judge will take that into consideration, that he knows people sometimes do things reflexively. But here's a guy with an anger management problem who 20 years later hasn't figured out how to do REBT, hasn't gone back and reprogrammed himself, created another response. So the judge says, I understand what you're saying, that it just kind of happened to you. Things like that happen to me, but you know what? If they happen to me in this court, you're responsible. Not for having this program, but for never fixing it. And that's the only responsibility I'm going to lay on you. You didn't know how to change these things, so I don't expect you to have changed anything you have problems with in your life. But here's what I'm going to put on you going forward. Now that you know how to fix something, if you still have these challenges in your life, it means you didn't go through the techniques of REBT, you didn't think enough to change them, the way I'm going to show you right now. And now it's not, oh, these problems were kind of handed to me, they're an old legacy piece from my childhood. No, these are now things that you chose to keep. So you have some responsibility, But responsibility means the ability to respond. That's awesome. Also known as personal power. You can now change it. And I'm going to show you the exact strategies for how to do that.